in esports, there's still people that don't know where they want to go in life, but you just keep trying. You just keep trying different roles until something clicks, and you would never be able to get there without running, or just helping out in running things like Campus Clash.
Yeah, just go for it.
Yeah, you've got to take the step, and then you know where your destination is.
Welcome to Series 4 of the Student Connect podcast. We're so excited to be here, and we hope you are as well. I'm Kurtis. I'm a second-year esports student at the University of Staffordshire.
And I'm Jodie, a Games Art student, and we're your hosts of the Student Connect podcast. This podcast is created in association with the University of Staffordshire and hosted by our student content team.
Oh, lovely. We're all lovely.
We are lovely.
It's a student-led podcast which shares the experience of students progressing through their university education and inviting experts from a variety of different areas. In this series, we'll be speaking to a bunch of students from the uni about extracurricular experiences they've had whilst at the University of Staffordshire.
We want you to help shape this series, so if you'd like to join us as a guest, then you can get in contact with us. You can email us at comms@staffs.ac.uk, or you can send us a DM on social media.
Along the way, we will endeavour to share our honest stories. They might be a little bit too honest sometimes, to explore what the University of Staffordshire has to offer.
So, without further ado, let's get started.
Please welcome Elle to the Student Connect podcast. How are you feeling?
Pretty good, yeah. Pretty nervous, but we're rolling.
It's fine.
We'll be fine.
So, why don't you give us an idea of who you are, what you're studying, and why the University of Staffordshire?
So, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a level 6 esports student, just like Kurtis on level 5. We've seen a lot of each other before. And I chose University of Staffordshire because I only live like an hour and a half away. And for that to be so close to home and for this to be the first esports course in the country, it was just so valuable to me to actually be here.
Lovely. Honestly, the fact that this course is one of the OGs helps me feel a bit more confident about it.
With my time here, I've seen so many rise and fall. When I left my college, they were entirely planning doing an esports course. They were training staff at that moment in time. It still just doesn't exist. It fell through. Funding for esports is so rare. To have something good and long lasting is brilliant.
So speaking of funding esports, we're in the new arena and it looks amazing. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the facilities of the new esports arena? So
in here, whenever we do events, I'm usually the stage manager, so this is my domain. This is my home. But in here, we've got so much good tech. So our video wall, that was a good eighth of our budget. No, more than that.
A lot.
It was a lot of our budget, but it was very cool. And I'm constantly giving out warnings for no one to touch it because my days, if we have to replace it, it's going to be a lot out of pocket. But in the other rooms, we've got full production suites, all on specific versions that mesh well with every single other piece of equipment we've got. Everything just works so seamlessly, all helped along with our technicians as well. They're our shining stars of this place.
Lovely.
Shout out to the technicians, I guess.
Honestly, I love the technicians. They do everything for us.
They're so brilliant.
We'd be a shambles without them.
We would.
What's your favourite bit?
My favourite bit? I think this the casting room that we have here, it's so cozy.
The
actual vibe is so great, and then because there's so much empty space on the shelves as well, you can customize it to literally any event. So we've had Smash events before, and because Smash Ultimate is just a collection of so many Nintendo characters and characters from other games as well, you can just bring in whatever you have from home. So us nerds, we like to have collections of plushies and stuff, don't we? So you can just put something on the shelf and that's it. It's perfectly suited to your stream then. Everything just works so seamlessly now.
Lovely.
I love that. That's so cool. Yeah. As much as I'm not an esports student, my favourite bit, this room.
Just this room in general.
Just this room, because I watch a lot of esports anyway, and you see a lot of arenas and stuff, and you see the big screens, you come in here and you're like, this is an esports arena, it's not just thrown together last minute, it's the proper thing. Yeah. Definitely the proper thing.
I suppose because I've seen it for so many months, it's it's lost its spark a little bit. I'm this is the workplace.
Yeah, I'd say my favourite bit is the casting hosting desk, believe it or not.
And there's your lights behind it.
It's when I remember during Campus Clash, which we'll get onto, when it was the final, I was sat behind there, the atmosphere was just amazing, so I was this is my little spot.
Yeah.
How have you managed to utilise the space for your own work? Because you say you've been in here a lot, so...
So I've helped run 3 events now, since we've been able to start running things in the arena. So Campus Clash, like we're going to get on to. Brink, which was a Smash event that we ran in the summer, and then the R6 event that's just gone over the last weekend, Rainbow Six Siege. But for my own stuff, I'm also the university's National Student Esports Tournaments and University Esports Tournaments rep. And in here, I've done presentations for societies, just explaining like what happens and guiding them in actually how to use the arena in case they want to do like practice games in here and stuff. So it's not just for these massive tournaments, like societies can come in here and just like have their usual games, but in an environment that just feels so much more like alive.
Yeah, we did that with the Valorant Society yesterday, because it was just like, you might as well let them have fun with it whilst it's here.
Yeah, I think you were saying as well, like that you get the chance to like book it out and host your own tournaments as well. That's what you were telling me.
Yeah, you get training on it through CISO, and then I think obviously there's quite a few because it's quite a big space, and there's plenty of other rooms like the gallery, the casting room, all that jazz. So it's like once you train on it all, though, it's free reign.
What benefits do you think you have gained from the esports facilities?
Definitely a lot more confidence, because every time we start an event, we have to go through the whole health and safety for attendees, everything that you need to know, and for players as well. And like being able to stand in front of like, because we have a capacity of 60 in here, so when we're at full capacity, it can be a bit daunting to tell them, don't do this, don't do that, you know, like you're telling them so many things all at once, and to expect them to listen to something, but just with an air of confidence, if you can do it, then they do listen. So it's definitely been like, it's helped me build myself up a bit more and be able to do more than I thought I could.
As someone who was in the audience for one of these like lectures towards me, I definitely listened, so I can approve that. So how is it operating an event in this environment and, you know, the entire area?
Well, it's quite seamless actually, just because we have radio packs. So if I'm in here and my producer's in a completely different room on the other side of the building, we can still organise everything that's going on. So that's just one way that we can make everything work well. But also, with the other rooms just being so close, you can actually go and help with other sides of productions if you need to, which is something that I've never been able to do before, because usually in like other esports spaces, you've got your nice posh stage, and then down some dank corridor is like production hidden away, and you don't get to see anything they're doing, and if anything's on fire, you can't help them. They're like screaming in their own corner. But here it's so useful, just because you can run in that door and someone can say, oh, you're here, brilliant, can you go and get me a HDMI cable? And you're just off straight away.
Ease of access.
Ease of access, yeah.
So, you know, you love the facilities here, but is there any in any of the other buildings? Because obviously we love esports, but we do have to branch out every now and then. Is there any other facilities you love?
Well, I love the virtual production suite. We've just had a lesson in there actually that you get to do in level 6 esports. You get that next year. We spend an hour in there with one of our tutors, and he explains like kind of how the space works and what you can really do with it. So in there, it's a massive video wall, and you have a full production set behind you. So you can do your own lighting, you can put your own video on it, and you can do your own audio and everything. So usually film students use it for just doing their productions. So you can make kind of a set behind you and record something in that way. So we got shown one that was a final year project of one of our technicians actually. And it was a full like spaceship set piece. So something that would cost like thousands, if not millions, to like actually physically produce. But because it was done in Unreal Engine, which is one of the engines that game design deal with directly.
That's what I work with as well,
Like, you can just make anything that you want in the background and do it that way. And all it takes is time, like, because the university's already got parts there. But for esports, yes, we can use it in a similar way to that for, like, putting our players where we can't usually access. Yeah. But it's brilliant for photos as well, or for, like, video introductions and sweeping shots and things, because you've got so much room and all the cameras are on wheels, and it's all set up perfectly. So I've done that for 2 events now, for Campus Clash and for Brink. We got so many like wonderful sweeping shots, and the players loved the experience, because it's something that like you don't usually get to do as a player as well at like a university level. It's just something new.
For that future podcast, Get us in the virtual production suite. I want to see that room. I've never been in it. And
get some sweeping shots of Kurtis just looking at hi Esports.
Yeah, hi Esports. I'll say it all the time. So, we have this podcast, but there's also the Level of Detail podcast, which provides like similar opportunities to talk about games specifically. How do you feel opportunities like this and the Level of Detail help students?
Well, I was watching the Skyrim episode the other day that was with the games art people, and when I was in college, I was actually looking at doing games art and concept art, but I ended up thinking more about the academic side and went into esports. But just watching that and hearing that they value skill and then the actual determination at 50-50, unless, so if you don't know quite as much as another person, but you have like that true passion, like they're going to love you. And like, if I knew that and I was going into that, that would just be the most like amazing thing for me to hear, because like the nerves of going into an interview, and like as an artist you look at other people's work and go, oh, mine's not as good as that.
It's very daunting.
It's so scary, especially walking into like Cadman on an open day and you see everyone's work and you go, I could never reach that point, with your like portfolio in hand shaking as you're like walking up.
I'm in third year at the minute and all my classes are in Cadman. And every morning I walk in there, I'm in my final year, like, this is it. I see work on the wall, I'm like, can I even do that? The imposter syndrome is so real. But like with this, like you said, like the passion and everything, it outweighs each other. With that, you have to be good at what you do. And it's good because, like, don't get me wrong, you learn it through the course. But if you've got that imposter syndrome and you don't have that confidence, it really knocks you. You just got to trust yourself.
So it's just the value of like the willingness to learn, because that's what you go to university for. You go for the education, not for like, if you already know everything, there's no point in going.
I think that's what some people get confused with. They come on first year and they're like, oh my god, I'm not at this level yet. You're not supposed to be. You're fresh out of college or sixth form.
I thought that because obviously I came from Esports BTEC. I was like, oh, I have to be amazing. But then I realised everyone else here is just as amazing.
Like, it's okay to start at that lower level, and even if you don't have that confidence, foundation year exists. It builds you up to get to that level. And as the years progress, like, it's so funny. I'll look back at my work from first year and I'm like, I used to be like that, and now this is everything. Now you just gotta trust yourself. Just trust yourself. Improvement. Exactly. Life's a journey, as you say.
Life is a journey.
Life is a journey. But with the level of detail, I was on one of them. Don't know if you've seen it, but on the subject of seeing it, have you seen any of them before?
Just that Skyrim one, but I heard the technicians talking about one the other day of them setting up the mics, and they found out through it that the mics we have in here are just single direction, so you have to wear them upwards, because they assumed that they were omnidirectional like everything else, and their audio was like really muffled, but they use the same brand all the time.
It's fine.
So it's fine.
Life's a journey.
Life's a journey. You learn from your mistakes.
So I think we should talk about something we've both experienced, something that was really fun, Campus Clash.
Yes.
So it was one of the most fun events we've done, and it's completely student run. Obviously you have like higher ups like managing it, like seeing little bits and bobs, but it's all student run, and we got to use the new arena recently for, I need to say 2023, it's 2024 now. It's for the 2024 one. How was your experience doing Campus Clash this year?
So at Campus Clash, I was the tournament operations lead, so I was in charge of all the rulebooks, all the games, making sure everything ran smoothly, and it was brilliant. Just being able to run it in a space as intricate as this, because last year we were running just with upstairs. So we had one room with 30 PCs, and then you had the production room next door, and that was that. It was just those two rooms. And I was head admin for that one, and it was a little bit chaotic, but we got through it. But this one was just so much better, because for players it feels like an actual journey that you're going through, and like something to aim for with moving to the arena, because having finals on the exact same computers that you've been playing your very first game on, it doesn't have that same build up. But to actually run the finals in here and have like the full 60-person audience, it was brilliant. You could feel the energy.
It was amazing.
I saw clips and photos of it like through the social medias, and I was like, oh my goodness, like you could just feel the atmosphere through the screen. It looks so good.
You should come to the next one.
I should. I want to.
I'll save you a ticket.
Oh my goodness.
Because like everyone that attended as well is obviously part of the university. You could see like people were rooting for teams, not just because, oh, I like the vibe of that team. It's like they knew that person on a personal level, and they'd see them winning, and they would just be so happy on the back. They'd be like screaming their heart out.
Or the other way, they see their friend and they're rooting for them to lose.
It swings in both directions. I feel like you either have the friend that's like, "Yay, go on," or just Lose, go on.
Yeah,
do
lose.
it.
I do.
I dare you to do it.
Okay, so Campus Clash, for people who don't know, is basically just a campus tournament. We collaborate with the London campus, and we have a little fun tournament, you know, feeding a lot of different games, just see because everyone wants to be the best, so see which is the best. So this year we had each level of the course had a different team, and unfortunately my team didn't do very well, no offense to my team, but yeah, it's just a fun little tournament so that students can get to use the new esports arena, because everyone did a little bit of everything. I hosted it, you did Tony Ops, like you did a lot, and there's also the whole production, there's the whole lead up, so it's basically like the final piece of work for the academic year, like a little what's the word, just
So it was like a little celebration.
there you go, like the celebration of our end of our academic year. So
Yeah.
it's lovely. It was honestly my favourite thing in first year, and it might be my favourite thing in second year. Who knows yet?
Maybe third year as well.
Maybe
You
third
never
year.
know.
Maybe my fourth year. Maybe I'm here forever. Who
Kurtis
knows?
is part of esports now, guys.
I am
He's
esports.
here. You'll come here and you'll see Kurtis. He is esports.
But yeah, Campus Clash is it's a bit of fun.
Yeah. It's entirely student-led as well.
Yeah.
So all of our team gets made up by students, and we always take in first years as well. Sometimes into lower roles, sometimes into higher roles based on like experience.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant for just getting people in that were like too nervous for doing any base level like jobs. So you can bring someone in and they might say, "Oh, I just want to be a runner," and you're like, "No, we need an admin. Come on, we're
Yeah.
training you." It's just like it's a no mistakes are an issue. You know?
Yeah, it's a stress-free
Yeah.
environment.
Like from what I've seen, like coming up here, everything just seems so relaxed. Like you haven't got that
Yeah.
pressure on you to like be perfect. If
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah. But also expanding off of what Kurtis has said, how have you taken part in Campus Clash, and what does that mean to you? Obviously, you know, you're graduating soon.
Yeah.
Like how would that help, I guess?
Well, for Campus Clash, because the way that the uni kind of works with Campus Clash is the level 6s tend to be the heads of the events, so this time round I'm the event lead.
Yeah.
But as you kind of go through the years, you kind of get a higher and higher role as you get taught by the upper levels.
Yeah.
So this time I love doing my tournament ops, like that is my favourite thing, but I know that the uni needs someone else to learn that now. So I've moved up onto just overall operations, so now I'm risk assessment, scheduling, media days, all
Oh,
of
look
the
at you.
That's so important.
paperwork.
Love that.
But from that, I can then take a step back, look at level 5 and go, right, who's going to be my operations lead for next year? Look at level 4, go, right, who are my admins now?
Yeah.
And like properly train everyone through the years, because when I started at uni, I was the only admin and it was very trial by fire. I figured out everything slowly. But like in second year, I found Anaya and we like worked together on a few events, and I've taught everything I know, and whether she knows it or not, she's a brilliant admin.
She is. Lovely
And,
Anaya.
yeah, we love her. But now it's her turn to get trained for
Yeah.
operations, whether she knows it or not. It's going to happen slowly. And then we need to find the new admin to replace Anaya and so on and so forth. It's just a chain.
Yeah, I'm in that chain right now because I came in hosting an event and Lena was like my leader in a sense, like she
Yeah.
kind of told me what to do. And then now in my second year, she's the talent lead and I'm the talent deputy. So then
Yeah.
maybe in my final year, I might be the talent lead. Not set in stone. I'm gonna have to audition and interview and stuff. But you know, it's like that cycle of now I have to teach a first year to like help them build that confidence.
Yeah.
It's lovely. It's like having a family.
It is. We're constantly growing and evolving.
Yeah.
The faces are always shifting, but the same roles are always here.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Love that. I think like as well, going back to like teaching the lower years, we have something in game art which you do in the second and third year, and it's the Junior Collaborative Games Development Project.
Yeah.
So last year when I was level 5, I got taught by the level 6s how to make a game, and we made like this group game together. I can't remember what ours was called, but it was Scrap Mechanic, not Scrap Mechanic, that's the actual game. It was based off of Scrap Mechanic, that was like the big inspiration. And you had to like run around this facility, and we all made like the assets, the coding, the animation. It was so fun. And now this year that I'm level 6, I now have to teach level 5. So I'm so scared because I'm like, oh my god, what if they ask me something that I don't know? Like, I'm gonna have to like, go and learn it and be like, oh my god, yeah, this is how you do it. But I think it's so important, like passing on your experience, because you've been done through all of this, and not just the games industry, the esports industry is always evolving.
Yeah.
So it's so valuable to have that skill and pass it down, and then they'll learn something else and pass it down, and so on and so on. I just feel like that's so important.
Yeah.
Like from an outsider's perspective as well. Like I watch a lot of esports in my spare time, but nothing on what you guys do at all. At all. You guys like the main ones, like, you know your stuff.
For now, you'll come next time.
I'm the honorary Esports Studio.
Yeah.
I guess.
So, how do you think Campus Clash itself has helped you, like, during your whole journey of university?
So when I started doing, like, I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I originally applied for a runner, and the event, it was the production lead at the time, actually, Benito. He turned around and said to me, right, we really need an admin. Can you do it? Okay. And I was like, okay, sure, I can try. We'll find out. And then from that, it's completely grown into just knowing exactly how every single thing works for adminning. Like, I know how to run tournaments. I do a lot of them externally. I've worked with big major names. I've worked with ESL sometimes. Like, all
look at you.
All big moves, all big steps. But I never would have taken that first step if it weren't for Benito. It was actually varsity that we used to do with Kiel.
Yeah.
But that was just my starting point. I just kind of get through in the deep end, and that's how I figured out exactly what I wanted to do. Because in esports, there's still people that don't know where they want to go in life. But you just keep trying. You just keep trying different roles until something clicks. And you would never be able to get there without running, like, or just helping out in running things like Campus Clash.
Yeah, just go for it.
Yeah, you've got to take the step, and then you know where your destination is.
Oh. Quote that.
On the screen. Quote that. I guess, like, adding on to that, though, if that's helped you, how do you think it would help, like, other students that are maybe already here or are considering to come study esports at Staffs?
Yeah. Well, for new students coming in, we're always running new events. Like, all of our final year projects, we either get to choose whether we're doing a full writing piece or whether we run an event. So I've chosen an event, and I know quite a few people in my year group have. So we're going to be picking from students first for our staff. So we're going to level 5 and to level 4 and picking out from that way. So anyone that applies and maybe doesn't have experience or just says, look, these are my interests, but I don't know what kind of role I want, we'll happily pair them up with someone and work through that way. Yeah. Like, we've always been there ourselves. Like, we know exactly how it feels. So we're there to just kind of reach out a hand and help pull someone up instead of just leaving you to, like, scale that cliff of, what is my future alone? Like, we all know how it feels.
It's a scary cliff, that. Yeah. I hate that cliff.
I know, like, when I did it, I just forced myself into it. Because I remember it was Jingle Jam, and I didn't want to do it. I applied to be a camera operator.
Did you actually?
Yeah, this is how it happened. I applied to be a camera operator because I was like, oh, I can't do any of the big roles yet. I'll just stand there. And then during my interview, they were like, you wrote... Because I applied for camera operator as my own, and I put host as the second one, just be like, maybe, who knows?
Maybe.
And they were like, do you want to host it? And I was like, maybe I do. Maybe. And then literally, like, in the next few weeks, I was hosting the event, and it was like, now after that, I host so many different things.
Yeah, it was like that.
In my gateway, like you said.
That wall, like, got broken.
Yeah. I feel like whenever I talk to you, it's like, oh yeah, no, I'm off hosting this event next week. I'm like, I can't imagine you doing anything other than hosting. I'm just so used to seeing you do it.
I'm saying, but it's good because even though I specialise in hosting, I have been learning production. I know how to, like, do a lot of stuff. Yeah. Like, I don't want to just pinhole myself in that area, but I love that area.
Yeah, it's so like your speciality sort of.
Yeah, it's like I have my niche.
Your main in game terms.
Yeah,
that's
my main.
Your maining.
It's the way the course does it. We have, like, a few modules, don't we, that runs through event planning and then the running of an event as well. So in first year, the first thing I did was actually graphics operation. I was like, I did art in college. Like, I can make graphics. I know how Illustrator works. We'll just do this. And it was like, it didn't click with me, but it was like, it was a starting point. I was like, right, I know I can do it. So I can run on this until I find what I want to do. Okay. So it's like, almost like leaning back on previous experience, but, like, don't be afraid to make that jump, like you did.
Yeah.
You're like, maybe I'll be behind the camera, and it's like, no, get in front.
Get in front of it.
We have something like that in the games as well. Like, in first year, you don't get to choose what you want to specialise in because you have character creation, hard surface, and environment art. Okay. In first year, they make you do a bit of everything. Not really hard surface, it's more characters and environments. Yeah. And then if you think, oh, I'm really going to love that, you can try and be like, actually, that's not for me. I prefer the other one.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important to have that because you might go in thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to really enjoy this. Like you said with the confidence thing, I don't think I can do that myself.
Yeah.
And then you push yourself, whole new level unlocked, I guess.
That's so lovely. That's we're all
New quote.
Yeah, we're all confident in our little bits now. So you mentioned you worked in industry previously, and obviously I know you have, but the world doesn't know you have.
That's true.
So what kind of specific experience do you have within industry, and how has it benefited you?
So when I was starting out, like in my very first year, I ended up starting up with Epiclan, and you worked with Epiclan as well. But they were brilliant, and they look at your experience and go, right, we think you might work with this game, might work with that game. But when I applied, they didn't really have enough admin spots, but they looked at me, and again, they saw the passion side, and they went, right, we want you to be involved. So they made an entirely new role that was just cover admin. So that first event, I was just running around, making sure like every event was running smoothly, because they were all happening all at once. Yeah. All with different producers, all having their own little tiny fires. So I was going around and helping with all of that, and then from that, they then decided, right, we're going to involve a new game. So then I got moved to the new game because they'd seen how much I wanted to work. Yeah. And then I finally moved to the game I wanted to be on, last Epiclan, and I'm just still happily working away with them now. Like
next week.
Yeah, it's fully volunteer, but like the people that you meet and like the experience that you get, it's still like one of the biggest tournaments I've ever worked. It's so good just for getting that confidence up, and like you'll have players come to you and they might be the sweetest people, they might have ants in their pants about something that's like happened, but you just figure out exactly how to work through these things, like experiences that you just wouldn't get with university events.
Yeah, I feel like if you're coming to the University of Staffordshire as well, it's quite notorious for running a lot of students at the Epiclan, so they'll know the vibe, they know where you're from, and also if you make friends with people, like you make connections like with you, me, practically half of the like cohort, everyone will to help you like work your way in. So it's like everyone's willing to help you get to where you want to go.
A lot of our alumni still work it as well. And it's like John, the man who owns it, he's actually Stoke based as well, which is why he's seen all the facilities himself, he's met all the tutors himself, and he knows that we give such a good education here, like a good baseline that he can then work off of. He's like, oh, that's a staff's kid, come on.
Literally.
Picked up, taken away.
It's very that.
It is.
It makes me wish I did esports now.
Well, you can still.
I'm debating it.
You can still. We don't have to switch course, but you could but you can get involved.
Yeah. I need to talk to you about that.
Oh.
I do.
Esports interesting.
You might have seen a bit more of me, who knows. But regarding like industry partners and stuff, is there anybody you'd like to collaborate with in the future, maybe?
Oh,
that's good.
I really want to do some kind of collaboration with Riot, because that's something that I want. Like when I started watching esports, the first thing I was watching was like League Worlds. Like it's their complete final like end of the year tournament that decides like the best player of League of Legends.
It's going on at the minute, isn't it? Well, I'm pretty sure, because I think
it's going on at the moment. The finals are 2nd of November in London, and I just looked at it and went, I really want to work that. I don't know where I will be working, but I want to work it. I want to be there. And like I've run so many events in here that were all just to do with Riot games. I've got a big portfolio of them now, but just to like get in contact with Riot and be like, hey, so do you want to do something together? That would be like my dream to do in here.
Maybe we should try and hint Riot Games come to the University of Staffordshire. That's a very big ask. Could you imagine?
That is a very big ask.
It would be
massive. We're really lovely and we really like you. Please.
We like your games.
Yeah, please come visit.
I think Riot's the dream for a lot of people. Like if I could work at my own I say my own company, my dream company, it would be Riot as well. But like coming straight out of uni and going into a company like Riot it's
quite scary.
It's very scary, because they are like one of the top dogs in the industry. Like for us on the Games Art, you normally go to, I think Playground's a good option at the minute. Playground's very graduate friendly, whereas Riot sort of, they're looking for people that have had years of experience. So I'm like, please take me on Riot, I'd love to work for you. Like they're amazing. They're amazing.
Yeah, I think that's all the questions. So
thank
you very much.
No, thank you.
You're such a star.
Thanks, you're a star too.
Star.
We're all stars.
You've got your star earrings on.
Brandon, guys. So don't forget to reach out to the esports or the games teams if you have any other questions about esports, game art, everything at the University of Staffordshire. They're here to help you make the most of your time at the university.
And there are so many more options. If you wanted to come to Staffs and do something outside of the games industry, we've got you too. We cover most things, I'd say. There is a lot of courses. And if you do want to check them out or get any more info, you can go to staffs.ac.uk for all the information on all the courses.
Got it. I always get that wrong.
It's drilled into my head. It is absolutely drilled into my head.
So thank you, listeners. Thank you, Jodie.
Thank you, Curtis.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you to the Uni of Staffs Media Centre and our podcast producers and everyone behind the camera who is smiling at us right now. Please DM us on social media if you want to be a guest, or you have any desired questions, or go to staffs.ac.uk. I got it right myself.
Well done.
Or your Student Connect team for support. And, leave us a review. We like to know your feedback, and we like to know what we could do better to help, spread the word. Got any final words?
Any final thoughts? If you watch on YouTube, please drop a subscribe. It helps massively for other people to also find the podcast, and we can pass on our knowledge, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you have any final words for the esports world?
The esports world.
Well, if you're thinking of going on this podcast, just go for it. I was terrified at first, but this has actually been just brilliant to be here and speak with you guys.
That's good to hear
like
for
that.
us. Yeah. So, thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.